Hi, I'm Dave from Military Antiques Toronto, and today I'm going to show you some unboxing mail delivery, some show purchases, and some walk-ins. You know, you never know what you're going to get when you're running a retail store, and you never know what you're going to get when you go to a show or people call you. So sometimes it's insane, sometimes it's silly, and they want too much money. But the best ones are the ones who tell you that they've looked it up on ChatGPT or AI, and AI's told them that this item is worth $1 million, and you just shake your head. I had a gentleman call me and then show up with the stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I used AI, and AI tells me this badge is worth $1,000." And I'm like, "Okay, but it's a collar." He's like, "No, it's cat badge." I'm like, "I have one in stock, and it's a collar." And he's like, "No, I looked it up. There's two sizes." "You're right, there's two sizes. Here's the cat badge, Canadian Air Force, 1918 to 24. Here you go." "Yes, that's expensive." "No worry, yeah, for sure, 100%. But there's two different sizes, except that this is a collar." He thought he knew more than me because AI told him that, that's what it was. So those girls on the internet are real. So, and yes, they do want to talk to you, I'm sure. So whatever. If you're dumb enough to believe that, then keep listening to AI and how it knows what the value of the stuff is. So I tried telling him, he wouldn't listen, he left, whatever. Doesn't matter. Hopefully he doesn't come back because he wasted my time and his. So anyways, whatever. So this is pretty cool. Standard Canadian helmet, right? Nothing special. It's got a post-war service number in. It's a wartime helmet dated 1940 by General Steelworks, GSW. You know, I didn't even look at the size because it wasn't relevant in this case because I just bought it, whatever. Most importantly, it's got a decal on the front. And yeah, it's been post-war repainted, I understand that. And if you don't, of course, I did use Google Lens for this, not AI though. And it told me what it was. So it's Queen's University in Kingston. So that's pretty cool. It's been post-war repainted. You can see it's been stripped here and there, and then you can see the brush strokes even on it. And some of the sloppy paint actually. But it's an original with service number, so it can be researched. GSW World War II helmet that's been issued post-war to Queen's University. So that's kind of cool. So I assume that's like similar to RMC. Someone's going to, of course, correct me on that and tell me it's not. But hey, it's Queen's University. That's kind of neat. So there's that. That'll hopefully get pictured and listed on the website today. I'll get to the box next. I bought this at a gun show. I don't normally buy these things. It's a tiny little tool for removing nipples off of revolvers and rifles and so on. So, and it had a label on it, and it said nipple puller. So I came back to the table and I put it down, and the girlfriend kind of lost her mind thinking that I had something in mind for this, and no, I didn't. But now that you mention it, there you go. But yes, it's a nipple puller, and supposedly they're very hard to remove from the firearms without this. I guess a pair of channel lock pliers won't do it, so I guess this is a specific tool just for that. It was $5. You know what? I never do repairs, but if I don't know why I bought it. It was only $5, whatever. It was something different. It created endless hours of amusement for me with the girlfriend. It's all good. So something different, that's for sure. Let's do the box. This box, as you can tell by the packing, came from Kevin at the Canadian Soldier because he listed this and I had to have it because, well, I felt it was the right price. I'm sure it's already sold. I know it's sold already actually because someone saw it and knew I bought it, so they're like, "I have to have that." I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know why you need it, but whatever. I get to recycle the styrofoam at least for packing. So this is Kevin at the Canadian Soldier's packing job. It's obviously, he does a very good job of it. Then you got to find the stuff somewhere inside of here and try not to make a mess. Yeah, he does a very good job packing. It's almost bulletproof. I'm sure he does a far better packing job than me. There you go, look at that. Okay, so I know this is empty, so we'll put that off to the side. Let's see, and I gotta cut it open some more. All right. Gotta find the seam somewhere. Wow, okay. Here, let's make it simple. We'll just rip it open. So, this is early, and it's unusual that it's in a wooden box like this instead of the gray painted one. It's a bar and Stroud reflector sight Mark II with Air Ministry marks on it. So, nice wooden box. Normally they're this gray painted horrible box that, you know, standard. This is, in my opinion, an earlier box. As I try and open this, there we go. Because they aren't normally like this. They aren't normally this quality, so I feel this is an early pre-war box. And then he's put all the packing material in, which is great, so it didn't get damaged in shipping. As I try to open it without ruining anything. All right, so as a standard for stuff of this age, this is hard rubber. It's flaking. It gets hard. So this was here. So in case you were there was an aircraft crash, you didn't hit your head on this and crack your skull open. So what this is this is a reflector gun sight used in Spitfires and Hurricanes early in the war, later in the war. The earlier ones have a square glass. This is a later one, at least the glass is later, which doesn't mean that it's a end of war or post-war piece. Actually, it's clearly dated 1941 on here, which I will show you. See right there, it says reflector sight. Oh, that way. Reflector sight Mark II, Air Ministry mark, 1941 right there. Nice. They have in here, if I can get this off without ruining it. Yeah, I don't want to think I want to mess. Oh, there we go. There's the light bulb. So the light comes in through there. This is wired. There's no wire in this, but you could easily put one if you felt so inclined. I think it's 24 volt. Don't quote me on that. Bakelite case and wired, and then there's a light bulb. So the light bulb then projects up into here, a crosshairs, and when you're on the target, you can see it perfectly. When you're off target, it doesn't give you the full picture of the crosshairs. So that's a neat piece, and that'll get listed. Well, it's already sold. It won't get listed. Wow, very messy. Yeah, this is gone already. So there's that. That's cool. Let's see if I can get this back in here without ruining it. Oh, look, there it goes. It fits in perfectly. Very nice. The rubber always goes on these because, you know, it's not something that they plan to keep around for 100+ years, right? So that's cool. Already gone, but neat piece. Not something you find every day. So there's that. Then a family came in. Well, let's rephrase that. This item I purchased at a gun show. I don't normally, but you know what? It's a Navy sword. It was the right price, and it's Canadian Navy, which is nice. So, Canadian Navy swords are few and far between. You find the British ones far more often because of the lack of pay in the Canadian military, except for more recently, of course. Getting a naval officer's sword is not something that was priority for officers to purchase. This is not a Wilkinson, which would be the premier maker for swords. So this is just another maker. It's not a Horster. It's one I'd never heard of. I went and looked it up. It's called Premier. They make fantasy swords mostly. And I guess this is a fantasy sword if you're in the Canadian Navy, right? Because the submarines go down, they don't necessarily come up or something like that. So I don't know. Not to make fun of the Navy, I'm just making a joke. It's Elizabeth II sword. And there's the maker, as I said, Premier right there. But what's neat about this, which made me buy it, was that we got the fouled anchor on there with the Canada logo, which is nice. So Canadian Navy sword. Now the other Navy swords I've had Canada underneath the fouled anchor. This one doesn't. You know what? I can live with that. You have the properly tied sword knot, which I could never bother doing. But you know what? It's somebody who's a Navy officer is going to want to buy this. It'll be listed at the right price because, hey, I know what a Navy officer sword costs. It's a lot of money. This won't be a lot of money because it was at the right price that I purchased it for. So that'll get listed today, and you probably won't see this video until tomorrow. So hopefully it's still there when you look, if you're interested. These are just but two of the items that came in from a family that brought me a pile of stuff in. And there's much more than this, but you're not seeing it all right now because there's other videos to do and other priorities. So on my left is a Pioneer sword, and on the right is a Bandsman sword. So they're both Victorian, and this is a tool, definitely. So, ooh, it's like a singing sword. There you go. It's almost like Bugs Bunny. You have the saw back here. It's not perfect. You can see the blackening on the blade because they weren't taken care of. Fine, whatever. Same on the other side. And they are, this one is made by, I'd say that's Mole. And where they're usually marked is right here. And this one is marked to the 5th Royal Irish Rifles. Sometimes they are marked here also, but in general, they're always marked here. So if you're ever looking for these and you want to see who the unit is, it'll usually be stamped right there. There's sometimes also, like this one, stamped on the throat of the scabbard, and that one does not match this, and I can't tell you what unit it is. I'm going to have to look it up and try and figure that out. Let's see. So volunteer 1WS. Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to have to look in my books, truthfully. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure. I know what the scabbard this belongs to, but I don't know what unit the scabbard belongs to. So it's nice to get them matching. It's nice to get them with the scabbard and the sword to the same unit. Doesn't always happen. Things get interchanged. You know, this scabbard gets broken, whatever. They get another one from somewhere else. They swap them. It's no different than Japanese swords and non-matching serial numbers. It's no different than PO8 cavalry swords. It's no different than German bayonets with the serial numbers not matching. Here's what you got. This is what you did. It doesn't matter. Here's your stuff. Go and use it. So simple as that. So that's kind of, it is what it is, right? Remember that. It's just stuff. Bandsman sword. War Department stamped. As you can see right there, it's marked Mole, M-O-L-E, and War Department with a broad arrow. It's Victorian. It still has the strings on from when they were hanging on the wall at the family. And I haven't cut that off yet, so I guess that's next before it gets photoed. Nice, you know, nice condition. It's got some blemishes. It's not perfect. All messed up either, so nice scabbard, nice piece. There are a couple different patterns of this. There's rifle pattern, infantry pattern. The rifle pattern would have a strung bugle here. This one doesn't, obviously. So that's general regiments. So that's it. I thought I'd share that with you. It's just a quick short video today of some of the stuff that's come in. It's crazy. There's more coming all the time, right? So, because the world's ending, don't you know? That's about it. Thanks for looking. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check out my website, militaryantiquestoronto.com. You never know what's going to be on there, and we list stuff every day. I have some antique firearms to list next, which I'll get to hopefully today, which means you'll see them tonight or tomorrow, whichever. Or not if you're not interested. Anyways, thanks for looking. Take care. Bye.